Welcome, welcome. Welcome once again. I don't know if Jim is going to be with us tonight here. Episode number 372. All gamblers, welcome. Come in, turn down all distractions. Turn down all distractions. There we go. Come on in, turn down all distractions. Welcome, guest. Welcome, partner, community member, friend, innocent bystander, broski, dude. Coach Santos here, all the way from Stockton, California here. You can just call me Santos. Just call me Santos Rolon Jr. here. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to do my best to educate you on why and how, all about gambling intervention. Gambling is a big fat lie. Gambling is a big fat lie. I was hoping to have our unit in studio today, but it's not here. So I'm angry like a tiger. No, like a lion. Like a tiger, like a lion. Welcome here. Let me, number 372. We're going to get started here. So turn down distractions. I thought Jim was going to be here with us tonight. Doesn't look like it. He had a topic in mind, so I apologize for being late, folks. We're going to go forward with our broadcast anyways. Yes, we are. Oh, let me turn down this thing here. So welcome. I see we have a few visitors. There we go. One by one. Once again, Santos Jr. here, Stockton, California, founder of the SOSMC, Soldiers of Self-Mastery community, since 2016. I've been racking my brain and hitting my head against the stone to support problem gamblers worldwide, which is not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. Can you imagine delving and diving into the world of gambling, lottery and sports and what have you, and everything else, casino and horses running backwards and all of that? Imagine stepping into that world and supporting those that want out of that world. That's what this is all about, finding your solution live. All right, let's turn that down and keep it down there. I think it was a little bit too loud there. Apologies for that. Hopefully you guys didn't hurt you. Back to the comments. So I'm welcoming, let me see, it looks like Facebook, YouTube, and who knows, maybe we won't be here that long. I have a proverb I like to read. I'm going to read. I said, I have a proverb I'm going to read. And I'm going to remind you once again that gambling is a big fat lie. I'll say that throughout the broadcast. Gambling is a big fat lie. And why is gambling a big fat lie? Why is gambling a big fat lie? Maybe we'll take that topic on tonight, since Jim is not with us and he wanted to talk about the seriousness of changing. He wanted to talk about the seriousness of making a decision for wanting to do something, but really forging ahead and doing it. I think that's what Jim wanted to talk about tonight. And we're going to take on the topic of gambling is a big one. Gambling is a big one. Does size matter? Anyway, let me, what was it that I wanted to do here? Okay, not the light. The lighting's good. Oh, okay. You didn't remind me. Quit busting my chops, man. I'm just joking. Gambling's a big fat lie, by the way. The lettuce was ahead, the faucet was running, and the tomato was trying to catch up. I'm looking for the proverb, okay? Hang with me here. You got so many apps, you don't even know where it's at, huh? Ooh. Okay, here we go. The proverb for today, and by the way, today's Thursday, folks. No, it's not. It's Wednesday. It might be Thursday somewhere else on another, let me see, on the other side of the equator. Anywhere that's the other side of the equator or beyond 24 hours, it's Thursday. John 6:26, today's proverb. Thank you, Lord. Jesus answered and said unto them, this is the work of God, that you believe on him whom he hath sent. Jesus answered and said unto them, this is the work of God, that you believe. You believe on him whom he hath sent. By the way, I hope you like the merch today. I've worn it a couple times. A couple times I've worn it. I like the Freedom Phoenix on the front. But I got to show you the back, man. All right? By the way, if you like t-shirts like this, I just cut off the sleeves. Okay, don't bust my chops, man. I'm just sharing merch with you. You can get different colors, different sizes. You can check it out for yourself. Hopefully, Cephas has got this on the website, by the way. So check out the back. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, my back. Oh, let me go. There we go. How's that? Pretty good. Is it pretty good? Oh, come on. Let's do this. Get freedom. PNGZ. Gambling's a big fat lie. I said gambling's a big fat lie. I said gambling is a big fat. Okay. So we got the proverb. That was out of John. And we're going to talk a little bit about this, but I'm going to welcome some questions, some comments. I don't know. I see a few people here visiting for a little bit. Maybe we'll just shoot a message, right? We'll talk about why gambling is a big fat lie just for a few minutes. We'll talk about that for a few minutes. And if there's no questions, we will go on our merry way. Fair enough? Are you with me? Okay. And there is such a thing as taking POI, right? Points of interest. What are points of interest? A point of interest is like saying gambling is a big fat lie. That's a point of interest. That's a POI right there. It's a POI, right? You can write that down. Santos, what's the big deal about saying gambling's a big fat? It's a POI. What's a POI? Point of interest. It's a talking point. It's a soundbite. It's a starting place. Is it a goal? No, it's not a goal. Gambling is a big fat lie. It's not a goal. It's just a reminder. It's a reminder that that thing that we give our money to, if you've been giving your money to it for a while, you're contributing to its community. And what's it doing? Is it helping the landscape? Is it helping grow more crops? When you give, right? When we give, I used to be a giver too. I don't give that much anymore. I buy crypto once in a while. I buy gold once in a while. Poquito, little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's a form of gambling in a sense too. Well, now I'm getting really distracted because Jim just popped on and almost. But we are talking about POI now. We've gone off in a different direction here. Let me see if we can bring Jim on. He's a little bit late, but I'm sure Jim will share some of his insights on what he's thinking about. But we've already Jim, we've taken on the subject here of I thought I was going to be on here by myself for a little bit. Or actually, I thought I was going to be on here by myself. So I figured, why not take on the subject of gambling is a big fat lie? And what does that mean? What kind of a talking point or what kind of a topic is that? Gambling is a big fat lie. And what kind of talking points or points of interest can we draw out of that statement saying gambling is a big fat lie? Well, one thing is for sure, the more you say it, the more it sticks in your head. The more it seems like it, the more you repeat it, it has a way of sticking in there like it becomes like a nuisance. You know, gambling's a big fat lie. Could it become like a nuisance? The other day I had a bug in uh, my makeshift office here, and it was horrible. It was a big fly, and it sounded like a quadcopter, like a drone. And I was trying to record it and just put it on TikTok and say, hey, listen to this fly drone, because it sounded like a drone. And I said, but that's a fly, or maybe it was a wasp. Whatever it was pretty good size, but I couldn't catch it. It was moving around so quick. It sounded like a drone. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it was a drone. I don't know. What does that have to do with a big fat lie? And I didn't get my music box, so that's not going to help today in any way. So I'm going to keep my microphone up close. By the way, the faucet was running, the lettuce was ahead, and the tomato was trying to catch up. Episode number 372. Did we get the episode correct? Yes, we did. We welcome all answers. We welcome all questions. We welcome all gamblers. Gamblers Anon. Jim, we were going to have to take your subject on at another time, but I did mention you at the beginning of the broadcast that you're really serious about wanting to change, and you wanted to really figure out what in the hell is wrong with humanity when we say we're going to do something and then we do the total opposite. And that's believing the big fat lie right there. That is believing the big fat. It's like we throw ourselves down. It's like we throw ourselves down a steep hill. You know, yeah, it's like we walk to the top of this hill and it looks nice, but you throw yourself down there, and as you're going down there, you're going to hit rocks, like jagged rocks on the way, and there's real brutal, like gnarly pieces of wood sticking out in different areas, and you're just going to throw yourself, right? That does that make any sense? To me, it doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you do that, right? Why would you? And yet we've seen people do stuff like that in carriages and carts and pieces of cardboard. They've even been pushed. Now I'm talking about figuratively speaking about our lives being thrown off the top of the hill. That's kind of like what we do. And man, those jagged rocks, those pointy rocks, or that piece of wood that hits you in the side as you're going down, you get scraped on the side of the head. It's I don't know what kind of a journey, what kind of an experience is that when you feel like you're just rolling down the side of a hill and it's like there's no stopping, you want to stop, but it's like you keep rolling, you know, and every once in a while it's your leg or your arm or the side of your face. Am I making any sense here tonight? Come on, folks. We've only got about 15, 20 minutes into the program already. Anyhow, go ahead, Jim. If you got some thoughts, Sugar Bear, gambling's a big fat lie. Okay, what you say times how many times? Okay, Raymond Simmons, gambling is a big fat lie because playing lottery is going to the casino is full of false hope. Yes, Jim.
Yeah.
I don't know about change anymore. The seriousness of changing. There's politics behind changing. And again, are we following the big fat lie?
Yeah. Seems like is it a lie or is it just a belief? Is it a lie or just a belief? I mean, some people do risky things, and it's dangerous. And from one point of view, we can say, why in the world would someone put themselves at that kind of risk? They are absolutely crazy. They're believing a lie that they can go ahead and find some type of value at racing a car 180 miles per hour around a track against other cars. They're crazy. They're living a lie. You know, what's wrong with these people? You know, that's a belief, I think. And I think the gambling is a belief right there. It's a belief that you just go ahead and get hooked into, thinking that it's going to go ahead and solve some type of problem. And I guess everyone has some kind of problem. The person who's addicted, it seems like it's solving a problem. It feels like it's solving some type of problem. It's taking away something. So they're believing that this is a solution. This gambling is a solution. This addiction is a solution because it's meeting a need. You know, I mean, but I guess you can go ahead and have a new belief. You know, a new belief with a new perspective. No, actually, this gambling is just it's just a cover up. It's just masking some bigger problem in my life. That I'm trying to avoid. You know, and even though it makes me feel good, let's say, it's really not taking away the main disease. It's not taking away the disease. It's just hurting me. You know, and I mean, that you can go ahead and say it for anything, like drugs. You run out of money for drugs, right? It makes you feel a certain way, takes you away, but eventually, you're going to run out, right? Because you're not working. You're just spending all your time doing the drugs or alcohol or whatever, right? It just runs out, and then you're stuck, right? You're stuck. You don't have any more. You have nothing in your life. Um,
You know,
so, I mean, I think we're lying to ourselves, perhaps, that the gamble or the addiction, is the solution. Maybe that's the big lie. Maybe that's the big lie. We're lying to ourselves. My life is a lie. I'm lying to myself. I'm not being
is it,
honest with
is
myself.
it, or is your brain lying to you? Is it your brain? Is it your thoughts? Is it the habit? Is it you? Is it your own lust? Is it somebody else that's coercing you to do it? Behind closed doors, there's a secret person that has you hostage in some way.
What if the honesty is too painful? I don't know. Maybe the honesty is too painful. I don't want to go and deal. I don't want to see my true life. What
Be
is your
honest.
true life? Is it the way you see it? Well, maybe that's the even bigger disease, is the way you see yourself. You know, I don't want to go and see myself. I want to live a lie because, the way I can go and perceive myself is so negative. It's so awful that, I don't want to go and live in that world. I want to go and live in a fantasy world. I want to live in a fantasy world where I don't have to go ahead and see myself. I don't have to see myself. It's just too painful, you know? So I rather go ahead and live in a delusional land, right? And cover my
Well,
feelings up with a bunch of distractions,
well,
feel.
the thing is, for gamblers, what happens is gambling. When you really look at it, it's fun, right? We say, well, gambling is a big fat lie. Anything that we're doing, um, and of course, we want to focus on gambling here tonight because the topic is gambling is a big fat lie. How can I say? Let me see. you're spending money, you're working hard during the week, you're sweating, man. You're giving of yourself. You might even break your back. You know what I mean? Might be a week that you get paid, or every 2 weeks. You like what you do, you enjoy your job. Maybe you have a business, right? Maybe you have a business that you really enjoy. Got a good business, and then you earn your pay. You earn it. You go have fun for a day. Maybe you win a jackpot that at that moment. You hit $5,000. I mean, you went in there with 1,000 and you hit 5,000. That's fun. Who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that kind of a trade-off? Now, we might do trade-offs like that in other areas, right? There's other kinds of habits that we have, bad habits that we might have. They always seem to start off fun. You can't understand why it's a big fat lie, because they always start off fun, whatever it might be, right?
Seems like the mind wants to go to the path of least resistance. People live a very difficult life. There's challenges in people's lives over and over. And you know what? If there is any kind of refuge from pain or discomfort, seems like that's where the body and the mind want to go, to escape. Who would want to go out and endure pain over and over, And maybe boredom is pain. I don't know. That could be something. And
Yeah,
maybe it tastes good.
we've been living in pain ever since we existed. The baby is born in pain, you know? The baby is so miserable sometimes. Have you ever heard? I don't know if it's just for hunger. It could be that the hunger, but I've heard babies screech, man, like a little baby. Some of the most gnarliest screeches from a baby, and that's just from being hungry.
I think colic.
I don't
Colic.
know. There might be something else going on in that thing. Like, what is that noise, man? I heard a crying, baby's crying, but anyways. Uh, how did we get there? The faucet's running.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about pain. We're talking about the path of least resistance. No one wants to be in pain. People want to be in the comfort zone. People want to feel safe. They want to feel secure. They don't want to go and be in anguish. So I guess, I mean, like the mind, the body just goes for whatever. If it's not disciplined, if it doesn't know, if it doesn't know any different, right? If it doesn't know the consequences of living a life, of short-term pleasure, but the consequences that can come from, doing things that are not good, whether it be alcohol or gambling or,
Yeah,
smoking or,
this is what I feel is leading the spirit of America, though. I've been around the world and I've looked at other cultures a little bit when I was younger, and there's a big difference today. Huge. There's a gap, a big gap. And I look at some of these other third world countries, like I've been really focusing on Russia, Singapore, Japan, the Philippines, and the way we're moving. It's, I don't know, you can almost feel it in the air here in the US. Sometimes there's like desperation in the air. So we're looking. I mean, we're all in pain to some degree or another. We're probably trying to avoid other types of pain, yet we're bringing pains upon us that are eventually going to catch up to us in some form, some way. But we're doing our best to try to avoid them by giving in to the thing that is not necessarily giving you the energy to take that forward step.
I think about like other countries who don't have the luxury of having a country that just prints money, and hands it out. You
Yeah,
know, these people
we're
have to go ahead and people have to actually go out and work. People have to go ahead and if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't produce anything in these other countries, there is no money printer that is handed out, you see. And and in a way that could actually be good for a person because they go out and just take care of stuff. Where in this country, handing out easy, just allows a person to, I guess you can say, misbehave, not go down the straight and narrow, focus on the pleasure, I
no
mean,
accountability.
yeah,
That's
I mean, if you
that's
think
hurts
about
all
like
of us.
the homeless, those government agencies are handing out needles and drugs and all that kind of stuff, because, they're addicted to the stuff and they're just kind of feeding the comfort zone right there. And it's preventing people from actually just, sinking or swimming, You either got to sink or swim, right? I mean, putting people in that position of taking the easy way out, right? And that's our culture right now with all this money. I mean, the easy way, the easy terms, lots of credit available, buy now, pay later. I can get it now. I can enjoy
I
stuff now, you know?
I remember when I used to gamble and then I was broke. I had plenty of money. It didn't the thought of not having the money, the thought of getting to a place where you're completely broke without any money until 2 or 3 weeks, possibly, or unless you do some scheme to get money that day. Uh, you don't think about that when you're doing what you're doing, right? You're not. It's that thought's oblivious, man. But then that day comes and it hits you. It cracks you right upside the head like an axe, and you're thinking, man,
Yeah, it seems like humans are more reactive than proactive. That's the reason why, um, no one ever prepares for anything. It's because we're reactive. It's kind of funny. It's like the police and the security is always heavy after the school shooting, but never before the school shooting because we're always reactive. We are individuals who would just take our chances. We gamble. We gamble that everything is going to be okay, and don't prepare. Okay, because that's easy, right? We default to the easy. It's more difficult, to take the effort and plan and prepare and do the work. I mean, I'm guilty of that for sure. I'm speaking
yeah,
for myself. It's easy. It's easy to just go and coast because the sky is blue. The clouds are fleecy and white, right? What's there to worry about right now? Everything's okay. But when that winter comes, and you have nothing, you know, I mean,
yeah.
that's a wake
See, I,
call.
I read a lot of those comments, but once those comments show up, it doesn't matter what you say. Really, hardly, man. When somebody pops up and says, I lost my rent for 2 months, or I did this for 3 months, or I got to the place where I was having my money in the bank and now it's all gone. Help me. Help me. Help me. It's an ugly, it's just it's not only ugly, it's just, it's demoralizing. It turns you, it makes you into nothing. You want to really just, you don't want to be around anymore. That's what happens.
Yeah, it's like
Start
what is
thinking
it?
thoughts. You start
Warren
thinking
Buffett
thoughts
says.
that are not thoughts that are proper. Put it that way.
Warren
Hello,
Buffett.
everyone. I'm hoping that I can get a question or two. Yeah, before we, a question or two, maybe. Oh, well, if there's no questions, that's fine. We'll be here for about another 10 minutes or so, maybe 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 45 minutes. And again, gambling is a big fat lie. If it's not a big fat lie for you, you're probably not going to want to stick around for the rest of the podcast. You might have left already. But gambling is a big fat lie. I remember I used to go gamble and I struggled. I gambled and I struggled and I gambled and I would lose money and I was frustrated and I would get angry. I'd win a few dollars and it was a horrible cycle. And I just didn't see any way out of it. I thought, I think sometimes I would do 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, I think, or maybe a couple of weeks, and then I would go back. And now when I look back, it would have been good if I would have just did things a whole differently.
Yeah, sometimes I think, it's like some people are so addicted. It's like it's a real chemical thing going on. It's a chemical thing. It's an imbalance of chemicals going on in a person, and I'm not quite sure if all the reasoning in the world can go ahead and cause a person to change their habits. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess you can go and say addictions on a spectrum. Maybe there's a spectrum. Some people are, not so severe. Some people are moderate. Some people are pretty severe.
Depends on how your character. Some people, it's like some men are stronger than other men. Some women are stronger than mentally, sometimes even physically. Depends on the atmosphere, the foundation. I am a firm believer that your foundation, how you grew up, where you grew up, who you grew up with, has all to do, or pretty much a lot of what to do with who you are today.
So
And
you have
of
now.
course, there's all the in between, now and what happened there. There's been some changes, maybe some habits that have been acquired, some habits that have been let go of. You've let go of some along the way. But ultimately, the foundation that we got reigns supreme somehow, some way. Because it's hard for me to believe, like, you can have a good childhood foundation at home. You can have a really good foundation, mom and dad, respectable siblings and all that, and you can still grow up to be crooked. You could still be. But that's not the majority. I think the majority are the ones that are growing up in broken homes. Things that have happened as a childhood that have been, the child doesn't know any better. The little boy, the little girl, what do they know at 6 and 7 years of age? They're being abused or molested or even sexually. If they're not well protected at home by their parents, what does a child know? I didn't know. What does a child know that somewhere down the road, maybe 10 years later down the road, or maybe a year down the road, or 30 years down the road, this thing that you're going through that somehow might have been covered up is gonna need some healing. It may pop out. It may. Does all trauma pop out in people's lives in some form, in some way? I think it has a way of doing that. Trauma does. I don't think you can go through trauma and it just stays in a bubble and everything's fine and dandy all the way through life and peaches and cream and stuff like that. No, I think that trauma has a harvest of some kind. It pops out. Things begin to leak. And if they're not dealt with, they can possibly grow even worse. And that's one of the reasons why we get into gambling. Gambling's a big fat lie.
When does it become a problem? When does it become a problem? I mean, you can go and say gambling could be a problem. You can say exercise could be a problem. You can say eating is a problem. I mean, when is eating too much food bad for you? Is it when you're 10 pounds overweight, 15, 20, 100 pounds overweight? When is it a problem?
Or when it's interfering with you keeping your appointments and honoring, your commitments to help your family or a community.
So yeah, if it's hurting yourself, it's hurting your ability to take care of yourself and take care of others. Yeah, that's a problem. That's when it's a problem. Some people enjoy, enjoy their vices, and they live their lives. I guess some people say to each their own. You know, I don't drink alcohol. Some people drink alcohol. You know, and that's fine. I mean, I guess as long as they can control it, I guess it's supposed to be not too bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess it can get out of hand, and I think that's who we're trying to go and reach, the people who have the addiction get out of hand, and it's actually hurting when it becomes uncontrollable, right? When it becomes uncontrollable. So,
Mhm.
what are the ways to go and control it? Those are the big questions that we have to ask ourselves. How do we go and control, those things in our life that get out of hand?
I
Getting help.
believe that we should be I believe that we should be educating ourselves about many, many things all the time. Just because we finish school or we think that, I don't need to learn anything else. I think we need, there's always room for improvement within room for improvement. Even if it's a class that you go to once a week or once a month or 4 times a month. Um,
I think we have to go and figure out why we want to change too. If you're in an addiction, and it's giving you problems, I mean, do you have a motivation strong enough to go and get you out of it? Maybe some people want to get out, but they don't know how. They just keep on going back. They don't have any tools. They don't have any resources.
yeah.
Um, maybe they don't have a reason why.
Yeah,
It-
strong enough reason. That would probably be the key there is the reason.
what if they're
Because
depressed?
again, you
Depressed.
can have, you can have all the tools, you can have all the abilities and tools and everything around you. But if you don't make a commitment yourself, if you don't honor your decision of, then it doesn't matter. You can have, the best of the best. All of that has to work in conjunction with a desire, a reason. Give these tools a reason to work, not a reason to not work. The tools will always work. They will always support you. They will always help you. It's the person behind the helm, the person at the steering wheel, looking out the the front mirror,
Yeah.
or looking in the rear view mirror. Just continually looking backwards. Focus on failures. Just okay, yeah, the past. Look at the past is good, but man, what do I see? I just see. I fell down that big hill, man. My head got scraped up. My arm got taken off by a branch. That's what I see all the time. It's because you're looking in that mirror, the rear view mirror. Learn from that.
What if you feel that you don't have anything to live for? What if you feel that, you don't really have much purpose? How difficult it is to get out of an addiction when you don't really see much purpose in your life.
That's
When you don't
difficult.
really have. It's like, what's the point, Who
Yeah,
cares?
that's difficult there.
Who cares? I mean,
How does one get out of a situation like that? Unless divine providence of God intervenes. Sometimes people come our way and we think, well, so and so saved somebody else. No, I believe God had a divine intervention is what happens. And that's for a lot of people that has to happen. There has to be some broken legs. There has to be some seriousness of things that really humble us, I guess, if you will.
what if you're lonely? What if you don't have anyone in your life? What if, you know, uh, you have problems, making friends? What if you don't have any family? How does the addict get out of that situation where it's hurting them, but yet, I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else. I have
Yeah,
nothing else, you know. And
it
they've lived their life many, many years like that, and they dug themselves into that mindset.
reinforcements. Yeah.
How do you get out of that? That's tough, I
Yeah.
mean, uh, it's 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 no fun seeing people deteriorate. It's no fun to see people deteriorate. It's no fun to see ourselves deteriorate because
Yeah.
it can happen quick. It kind of snowballs too, right? You don't have anyone in your life, you're lonely, you don't have you feel that you don't have a purpose, you know, um, and you just look for some type of out, some type of feel good. There's your addiction, right? But it's hurting you, it's hurting you, it's hurting you, right?
Yeah.
It's hurting you, it's bringing you down. You have no one, right? And it's like you say, what's the point? I'm going downhill, you know. And I guess that's the reason why for gamblers, suicide is an out, you know, because they have lost hope. So I mean, that's the thing, I guess. I mean, a person has to go ahead and find some kind of hope of a
Yeah.
better tomorrow. And I
That.
think that's where other people come in. That's where help comes in. That's where coaching comes in. You
Yeah.
know,
Videos like this, a podcast, a dumb podcast like this that somebody might stumble across. Somebody might be on the verge of getting ready to commit some horrible act, and they stumble across this podcast, and that might be all they need to hear. Something like this. And so sometimes we do things and we think, well, that's kind of stupid. Whatever, maybe nobody pays any attention or there's no meaning in any of this, but yet we do our part. You do your little part, you put it out there, you plant a good seed, your heart, your and that's what's important. People that are out there, greedy people that are full of lust and envy, and they want something for nothing, and they're not willing to work for it, or pay some kind of a price. They're always going to be out there doing things, and their frustration comes. Those be patient, keep building upon, practice what it is that you need to practice. Maybe you want to get free, but you don't. You want to get free, but you haven't gotten free, but you want to. You've got a desire there that you can work with. As long as you got a little desire that you can work with, who knows where that desire may go. But if you quit, you got a little desire, and you isolate yourself, and you know again, it comes down to it's life. It's like we have two. It's like we have these two wolves, these two dogs living inside of us, and they're there, and they wrestle, and they go back and forth. Which one wins most of the time? The one you're feeding. How are you feeding it? I don't know how you feed it, but you're feeding it. Maybe you're not aware of how you're feeding it. Well, again, there's ignorance. We have to be educated, and hopefully, by the mercies of God, we can reach a few people along the way and help them. They, in turn, can help somebody else. No, you don't go up there, buddy. But gambling is a big fat lie. Eli, somebody likes you. Oh, you're leaving me full of hair again. You beast, you. Oh, okay, that's enough. Yeah, he's a good guy. Every once in a while, he can be Eli's a big male, but he's a softie. I don't know, maybe too domesticated. All right, we're coming down to the wire, folks. We've come down to the last of this topic. Gambling is a big fat lie. Gambling is a big fat lie. And simply by coming here for 30, 40 minutes, you get reminded of that. You get reminded of the fact that there's always room for improvement within room for improvement. Well, Santos, sometimes I get tired of hearing the same thing. Yeah, but if it's a good thing, then your positive life is going to come out of hearing a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. So is it worth stumbling across podcasts like this where you can learn a few things or come in and join us and be a part of this? Well, you're struggling. I'm struggling too. We're all struggling. Let's struggle together. That's all right. As long as we keep going forward, something will happen to the struggle. But again, something will happen positive to the struggle as long as you keep pushing forward. If you give up on yourself and fall down and say, well, I'm just going to rest, or I'm just going to throw myself from the top of this hill. Throw yourself from the top of the hill, and all you see as you look down is you see jagged rocks and pieces of wood, sticks and stuff. And man, I throw myself down. It might feel good. I'll get some momentum, but I'm going to hit some shit along the way. And you don't know which one of those things might take you out. Again, thank you for being here. This is my call to action. Thank you for being here. I appreciate those of you that have hunger and vision and are growing to do something. Appreciate all of you here by way of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Support the mission. If you care to help us, this has been since 2016. If you care to help us help others, reach out to others. If you want to donate $5, $2, $20, if you want to comment, a thumbs up, a share, watch a video or two, share that on another soul, you can do that. Support the mission. Is that going to make me a millionaire? Yes, that's going to make me a millionaire. That's why I'm asking you to do this. I wish that would have happened already in 2016. No, there's no such thing, but it does support the mission, and it will support you, and it will support me as I try to support others. That's my call to action. So I'll see you Sunday. I'm going to give Jim the last word here. And if anybody else here in the group, Mark, Laura, Raymond, what does Raymond say here? If you got a question or so, please. Can lead to gambling addiction. Very true, Jim. There you go. You see Laura, Sugar Bear, Raymond Simmons, and there was a few others here, quite a few others. But you don't show who you are, and that's fine. I don't know where you are, Facebook, YouTube, somewhere. Hopefully you're getting something, because if not, you're coming here, you're wasting your time, right? You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your time. And hopefully I'm not doing that here. All right. That's all I have. Jim, let's bat it out of the park, man. Home run.
So in regards to, finding a way to go ahead and give your life meaning, you deal with a lot of pain, but perhaps we have to go ahead and have, I wouldn't call it a lie, but maybe a belief that this pain has some type of purpose that I'm going through. I'm going through this suffering, this discomfort for a reason. And seeing it from that perspective, you embrace the pain, let yourself pray and meditate upon what you're going through and find some type of reason why the pain is beneficial to you. It's pushing you in a direction. Could be making you stronger. Could be making you more patient. If you can go ahead and go through the discomfort in life instead of taking the easy way of our addictions for that momentary pleasure. So yeah, find meaning in your pain, which is positive. That's what I have to say.
Find meaning in your pain. That's positive. We'll see you at the top, hopefully. You guys are out there on the roads. Be safe. I know we're coming to the end of the week here. Be safe on the roads. Keep an eye on your surroundings. Think about what you're eating. I know the chocolate chip cookies with the melted chips in it, they're so good with milk and stuff, but keep an eye on some of that stuff. And be aware. Just be aware. Be open-minded to what's happening around you. We'll see you at 7:30 PS. 7:30 p.m. PS Pacific Standard Time. Sunday. Today is Wednesday. No, today's Thursday. I'm just kidding. It's Wednesday. We'll see you Sunday. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Santos. See you on Sunday. Have a good week.
All right, to everyone. Bye now. And remember that gambling is a big fat lie.